All right, Miss Sarah, what about you?
I started painting with you in January. We did the snowman palette, and that is the first time I have ever painted.
Oh, wow.
Outside of like 5th grade art
Right,
class.
right.
And I only did it that one time, and I really loved it. And I wanted to always come back, but I have a young son and can't always find the time. So when you opened up the online class, that's when I decided I had to. And it's just my creative outlet.
And you're doing good. You're so good.
Thank you. I don't always feel that way, but maybe I think sometimes when you don't think you know everything, it's easier just to experiment and get it right because you're not overthinking.
Yeah. And learning to just let go and just have fun that you're creating, and then something will, kind of happen along the way. I was kind of talking about that in the painting that I was working on earlier today. I didn't have an exact plan for where I had an idea of where I wanted it to go, but then you kind of just let the paint take you where it takes you.
Right.
And that's the fun. That's the fun of, creating and doing that too. So
I change my mind as I'm going.
Yeah. Yeah, and learning to be able to be comfortable enough to do that, I think, is a huge thing, because in the beginning, like you said, if you've never painted before, that would just like make you nervous to think
it's a
of
little
doing
scary.
that.
I picked what I thought was the easy painting to do, and just because there was no way I was going to do some of these other ones, but
now they're not as hard as they look, right?
Now we do things that I see that I think are difficult, but then they end up being a lot easier than I thought.
Right.
And I can pause, and something that takes you an hour and a half might take me 3 hours, but I can
That's
do
okay.
it. Yep. And then we've got all these cheerleaders online, you can post.
Well, that's what I was going to say about you. You're one of the best cheerleaders in the group.
For sure.
Actually, all 4 of you are. You all are very complimentary to each other. But and that was another thing I wanted to talk about. What do you guys think? I mean, the art and the teaching and stuff is awesome, but don't you think the online community is like, to me, that's one of the best parts? Because if we were all just doing it on our own, you're still just in your home by yourself, and then you're looking at it and you're criticizing yourself, and then you go put it up. But instead, like 90% of the time when they post something, they're like, and I'm going to make it a new rule that you can't say, well, I don't like this, but there's usually a negative comment about their own painting, and then everyone else is like, no, that was my favorite part. But it's so important.
I think we learn from each other, because what I see is not necessarily what you see or you see, but then you do something, I'm like, oh, I wish I'd have done that. I'm going to have to do another one.
Yes. Yeah, and there was one, I think it was Pamela's, I hope I'm not giving credit to the wrong person or getting it wrong, who did that mason jar. Do you guys remember that when I taught the mason jars? Yes. And it was like that teal, it was so pretty, and completely different than what I did. So it was like gave you guys a different version to look at and say like, oh, I could do one like that too.
Yes.
So
I'm still going to
cool.
do the Brooklyn Bridge instead of the Eiffel Tower. I just haven't yet.
I'll do it with you.
I want to do that.
I'll look it up. Send me a picture.
Well, we give each other ideas, and it's not like we don't know each other, because we make comments, and you have a lady in Canada, you have one, I think, in Israel.
I'm not sure, but I know I have one in North Carolina and Vegas and all over.
But you get to where you think you know them because of what they say and what they do.
Yeah.
You know their face from their online picture, but then when you had your meet and greet, that was so nice to meet everybody else.
Yeah, I know.
Impressive.
So next year, I can't wait for our big one where we get everyone from the United States and Canada. Not leaving Denver out. And Canada. So that'll be super fun.
That was awesome, and I love the community of it.
Yeah.
Because you get to, you have a common background, maybe not background, but you have a common interest of being able to paint, and then you can share ideas, like she said. And
It was like we'd known each other forever.
I know.
Yeah.
And there
Yeah, and I knew
wasn't
like
any
3 people.
awkwardness. You know how when you go someplace new and you don't really think you know
Right.
anybody? This was completely
It was
different
totally
at the meet and greet.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was just, everybody was welcoming. We were all excited to meet one another, and that's the social part.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that was what I loved. And I didn't want that night to end. I'm sorry, I just didn't.
I know, I felt like it ended really quick, and I was like, I didn't even eat my food. It's already time have to go.
And it was raining when we left.
Yeah, but it was fun. So we'll definitely do more of those and do a Christmas party of some sort.
I'm
So
excited.
It's gonna be
yes,
big.
I know.
Yes, and and the other thing that I like is you can put it on a canvas, you can put it on wood,
Yeah.
you can put it on glass, you can make it big, you can make it small.
Mhm.
And
That's
the
true.
multimedia
You can
pad, that is a godsend.
Yes.
It's a practice.
That
Yes.
is
It's a practice
wonderful.
pad.
It's been one of my, I mean, to teach you guys on, I'm like, why haven't I been using this for years to
Mhm.
show people techniques on? Because
Mhm.
man,
I
it's so
always have it
awesome.
sitting there, like maybe doing the palm fronds or, a flower. Okay, now I can.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
And even
Yes.
just testing your brush strokes, learning
Yes.
like pressure. If you want
Mhm.
super skinny lines, you can test multiple times until
For
you're
different
finally,
brushes.
yeah,
Mhm.
in different brushes,
Mhm.
until you finally are like, okay, now I can take it to my canvas.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So that's very good. Well, thank you guys so much. Did you have anything else you wanted to say before we?
It's awesome. Join us.
Join us.
You
You'll
don't
be
know what
sorry.
you're missing.
It's a good time.
And you'll get all of the tutorials and
Information that we have.
information that we
Yes.
already have.
Yeah,
Right.
you
You
guys
get
will
all
get
that.
Yeah, you'll get
Plus
all
I don't know
that.
any other group that
Yeah.
would do that.
Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time out and doing this with me, and I love y'all.
I love
And
you.